Hi, everyone. Hope you're having a good day. Today's webinar is on making your device more user-friendly and accessible for Windows PCs. First of all, today we'll be covering 4 different sets of settings. So there's vision settings, hearing settings, interaction settings, as well as some other resources. So you might be asking, what are accessibility settings? Well, they're settings on a device. It could be your laptop, your smartphone, or any other device that are adjusted to make your device easier to use. And there's different functions built in to accommodate for vision, hearing, and mobility difficulties. So on a Windows computer, it's pretty easy to start modifying these settings. Just go to Start or the Windows icon, which looks like what's on the slide on Windows 10. If you're on Windows 11, it'll be more flattened, and that should be on your taskbar towards the bottom of your screen. There you can search for settings and click the app that pops up, and then go to ease of access. The icon may look like this, or if you're running Windows 11, it may look slightly different. So first of all, there's vision settings. So on the left side of your screen, you'll see the settings section, and the first section is the vision settings. So in display, you can use a slider to make text bigger. So if you're having trouble reading because you think the text on your computer is too small, you can use this and it should resize the text in most places on your computer so it's easier to read. In some places, you may have to change that website or app settings manually. Or you can choose, if you want to make everything bigger, like text, images, and whatnot, you can go slightly downwards to make everything bigger, and you'll see change the size of apps and text on the main display. So by default, it's 100%, but you can make that bigger so it's easier to see. And finally, you can change the brightness of your display, which may help if you're having trouble seeing, and you can use the slider towards the bottom to make it brighter or dimmer. You can also adjust your cursor and your mouse pointer. So there's another subcategory for those settings, and you can change your cursor size. So if you're frequently finding you have to move your mouse a lot to figure out where exactly it is, this might help. You can also change the color to make something that's a little easier to see. You can also magnify your screen for temporarily if you don't want to make everything bigger permanently. So you'll see magnifier settings, and you can hit the plus or minus next to the big number, and that'll make everything bigger or smaller. And while you're zoomed in on your keyboard, you can hold down the Windows key, and then plus if you want to zoom in more, and minus if you want to zoom out. Finally, there's some color filters. So sometimes if your eyes are hurting because you're looking at something with a lot of bright colors, you can use things like grayscale, which basically makes your screen black and white. Or if you're having trouble with certain colors or you're colorblind, you can choose filters for your specific condition that should make it easier for you to see. There's also high contrast. So sometimes when things are too similar in color, it can be hard to see what's going on. So if you turn on high contrast, just like the image on the right, you can see the text, for example, is really white while the background is very black. So things stand out more. You can also use narrator. So if you have blurry vision, maybe zooming in isn't working, you can use narrator, and that'll basically read out everything that's on the screen. And you can choose a specific voice. You can choose its speed. So if it's going too fast for you, you can slow it down, as well as the pitch. You can make it higher or deeper. So now for hearing settings. Here, there's only a couple of things to cover. First is sound, or you might see it as audio. Here, you can change your device volume, but you can also turn on what's called mono audio. So in audio, there's usually 2 types, mono and stereo. So in stereo audio, things will change volume in your left ear and right ear depending on where the sound was coming from relative to the microphone that was being used to record it. And this can sometimes can be really loud in the left ear and really quiet in the right ear, and that can be a bit confusing or it can hurt. So you can turn on what's called mono audio, and that'll basically have the same volume in both ears. This is especially useful if you're wearing headphones or earbuds. You can also turn on closed captions. So if you're watching a video, maybe the audio isn't very clear or it's just quiet. If the website doesn't provide closed captions, Windows will. So there's a little preview up in the top right of the slide. There's an image, and these are my caption settings. And you can change the color of the captions, the transparency, so if you want them to be a little less disruptive, the font, the size, and there's some effects as well. And this may not work on every website or video. You'll have to see what works and what doesn't. There's also interaction settings. So here you can deal with speech, your keyboard and mouse, as well as what's called eye control. So speech, if you're having trouble typing or you don't feel like typing, you can turn on speech recognition. And basically you can say various command phrases and your computer will interpret them and figure out what to do based on what that is. It's not available in every language, and you'll see on your device exactly which ones are compatible. You can also adjust your keyboard settings. So you can use what's called filter keys. So if you, say, make a lot of typos when you're typing because you mispress keys, your computer will ignore quick key presses, or if you repeatedly press something, because it'll think it's a mistake. But if you keep doing it, then it'll eventually realize, oh, it's not a mistake, and it should work. It should be pretty seamless. You can also adjust your mouse, so you can change what's called mouse sensitivity or sometimes pointer speed. So this basically makes it so your mouse will move a little less on your screen based on how much you move your physical mouse. You can also change acceleration. So basically, the longer you move your mouse, usually the faster it'll move, but you can slow that down if it's going too fast for you. You can also use eye control, which I believe is still in beta testing, so there might be some bugs or some problems with it. Basically, it lets you use your eyes as a sort of mouse or trackpad, and because it's in beta, as I mentioned, there might be some bugs. And you do need specific pieces of hardware, so you need something that can actually register that your eyes are moving, and then figure out what exactly you're trying to do. So if you don't have that, this feature won't work for you. As for some other resources, you can directly visit the Microsoft Windows accessibility page at the link on the slideshow. And you can also download some resources on your computer, tablet, or phone from the Cyber Seniors Senior Training and Resources area. Right, so now I'll be doing a quick live demo of some of the accessibility features. So first things first, you'll want to open settings. So there's a few ways you can do this. You can search for it, or a nifty shortcut is you can press the Windows key and I, and that should automatically open up the settings tab. So you don't have to search for it or pin it to your taskbar. Great, so you'll see towards the left, hopefully there should be, you'll see system, Bluetooth. So towards the bottom, on Windows 11, it's a little person with their arms spread out. That's accessibility. So if I click on that, you'll see there's vision, hearing, and then further down, interaction. So I'm going to cover a few of these, not all of them. So I think I'll start with text size. So if you just click it, you'll see towards the top, there's a preview. So this just shows some sample text. And right under it, there's a little slider. So if I drag it to the right, you should see the text getting bigger and bigger. And then this is the max size. And if I drag it to the left, you'll see it gets smaller and smaller. And once you're happy with the size, make sure you hit apply. Otherwise, the settings won't save. So I'll just revert it to normal for myself quickly. And then to go back, at the top, On Windows 11, you can just navigate back by clicking this. On Windows 10, you might just have to click the sidebar. So I'll skip past some of these to go to mouse pointer. So if I click that, you'll see there's a few different color options. So you can choose a white mouse pointer, a black mouse pointer, what's called inverted. So you'll see if I go over the black rectangle, you'll see my mouse cursor is white, hopefully. But if I go over the white, my mouse cursor turns black. So this makes it easier to recognize where your cursor is. You can also set a custom color. So something a little bit brighter, say like purple. That way it should be easier to recognize it on your screen. You can also adjust the size. So under mouse pointer style, there's a little slider. And as you drag it to the right, hopefully you can see my mouse pointer getting bigger. And it'll behave the same way. So if I say click with my mouse pointer here, it'll click where the tip of it is and not over the entire area. And then if you made it too big by accident, you can always drag it left to make it smaller. And if you have a touch screen, you can turn on touch indicator. So if you touch the screen, it should make a little circle so you know where you've touched. You also have the option of making it slightly larger and darker. So I'll try to demo. I don't know if it'll work, but I just touched my screen. Hopefully you saw a little circle kind of pop up and then shrink back down. So I'll scroll down past most of these. So for things like color filters and contrast themes, you may have to restart your computer for them to take effect. I'll go down to hearing and just demonstrate captions quickly. So here you can see there's a short video clip playing with some captions, and under it there's caption style. Again, this might be slightly different on Windows 10, but it should be pretty similar. So under caption style towards the right, you can see it should say white on black, but you can change that to large text if you're having trouble reading it. You can also change it to yellow on blue. So if you want something with a bit more contrast that's easier to see, this is a good option. And you can also do small caps, which is like capital letters, but it won't take up a large portion of your screen. And the default is just white on black. I'll go through interaction now. So under keyboard, you'll see there's sticky keys. So for example, if you're having trouble with keyboard shortcuts, and like I mentioned, say Windows I to open settings, if it's hard for you to hold all the keys, you can turn on sticky keys. So basically what happens is, say I want to open a new tab in Google Chrome. The keyboard shortcut for that is Control-T. So what I could do is hit Control, and basically the computer will remember that you press Control, and then you can let go of Control and hit T, and it'll figure out the keyboard shortcut. And then it won't keep holding down Control, so you won't end up with some weird behavior. There's also the filter keys I mentioned. So basically, say I'm typing and I'm making some typos because I quickly press some keys or I'm accidentally holding down a key, the computer will recognize that that shouldn't be happening and it'll just ignore that input. There's also toggle keys. So basically, if you turn on caps lock or on bigger keyboards, number lock or scroll lock, it'll play a little sound so that, say you accidentally pressed caps lock without meaning to, you'll know, oh, caps lock is on, and you can go back and turn it off. I'll also quickly demo mouse. So mouse keys, basically you're able to use number keys on your keypad to move your mouse pointer, but it is a little confusing and my keyboard isn't the right one, so I can't really show that. But down here, you'll also see the primary mouse settings. So if I go there, you'll see, so primary mouse button, this is basically what button you would usually use to select things. So by default, it's left, but if you want it to be right, you can change that. You can also change your pointer speed. So you can see I'm moving my mouse, but if I move it up, if I move my finger on my touchpad the same amount, it moves more faster. And I can turn that back down. So if your mouse pointer is moving too fast for you or too slow for you, you can always adjust that. For scrolling, if you want to scroll more slowly on a website, you can change this setting to be one thing at a time. And you can also change how many lines to scroll. If I go back to accessibility, so again, that's on the left. Towards the bottom, there's a little person icon. There's eye control. So I don't have a device that can track my eyes, but if you do, then you can toggle the switch to turn it on. And by default, if you're using the eye tracker to type, only the EN US keyboard layout is supported. So that's just the standard QWERTY. So if you're typing in another language that maybe doesn't use that keyboard layout, you might have to find a workaround for that. And there's also a privacy statement on what Microsoft does with the data. So there's also related links on more info about how it works. And yeah, that's the live demo. I hope that was informative.